What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast. Turn up, smoke some good weed. Mafia, shut the fuck up.
Virtual homework. Are you okay?
I'm sorry. I just want to do something different this time.
All right. Well, wanna know what's different?
What?
Theme song.
Is it the same song?
It's the same song, but we didn't do it last time. I had to edit it in willy-nilly because we just literally never mentioned it.
Really?
What the hell's up with that? You can't be a podcast without mentioning your theme song. We failed the first rule of podcasts.
So I never got these rules. Can you send these to me?
They're not really written down. They're kind of
Do you know what else rules? What's today?
May 31st.
This is true.
You're not going to say it?
It's Sam's birthday.
Don't.
Welcome to the Virtual Homework Podcast. I'm Dana. This is Sam.
We already said that, but you're just trying to avoid the fact that it's awkward a little bit, wishing me a happy birthday on air. So, before we get into it, Dana and I, we video chat so we actually see each other. We read off each other's facial expressions because we're human beings.
Yeah,
we understand that people have emotions. We're not robots.
I'm a robot.
And he might notice I have a Hello Kitty Band-Aid on my thumb. And I want to get that out of the way before we start anything.
I didn't, but you can go off. Yeah, tell me about it.
But you might have not noticed it now, but you will notice it.
What happened?
And you might get upset,
What'd you do?
why hasn't he mentioned this yet? I was peeling a potato, and I cut my finger.
What were you making?
I was making some dope ass curry with the gold S&B golden curry.
Oh, that sounds.
It's good shit. It is. It's good, but I'm just telling you. You think a potato peeler only peels potatoes? It peels thumbs.
Well,
if you're not careful.
you could peel your thumb with a nail, a lot of things. Pretty much any sharp object, like a thin piece of metal, in general.
But the thumb is not a potato, despite the fact that it says potato peeler.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. I wonder if anyone's ever tried suing on that shit. It's well, it hurt my hand. It said potato peeler. It peeled my finger. What are you gonna do about this, big potato peeler?
I'm probably gonna just scream at the top of my lungs on my roof, just potato peeler.
It's like how I screamed at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, kind of it's gonna be metal as fuck. We probably are not gonna actually get to the podcast in question tonight because we have so many things to talk about before we start. We have so many talking points.
Big, important
The biggest
things.
one, considering it's been multiple minutes and we haven't addressed it, we have a very special intro tonight. A very special intro by a very special guest who will not say any words despite the fact that they had our intro ever again.
It's true.
And who is this guest? None other than Juicy J.
He graced us with his presence, gave us some words of encouragement.
He graced us with his presence.
For the low cost.
Totally not for any
$49.99.
reason other than he loves it.
Yeah, he's a huge fan.
He's a big fan.
He's our only Apple podcast viewer, actually.
Yeah, he actually gave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It's pretty dope. He just loves the video game content, and we thank you so much, Juicy J. We'll get into this a little bit more later, but we just have to get out of that out of the way.
So what did we play today, Sam?
We played, speaking of Juicy J, one of his favorite games, Bookworm Adventures Deluxe.
That we did. It is a learning game that Sam was like.
Is it a learning game?
This game's
Is it really
violent.
a learning game?
This is like a children's game. So the preface of the game is super simple. You spell words to kill things. That's it. Do you want to go in on the lore of Bookworm Adventure Deluxe?
Yeah, so I actually don't agree with you when you say it's an educational game. I seriously think, would you call crosswords or Sudoku an educational game?
Well, I guess there's the cross crossing of like educational and mind. I would say.
I just think this is like
I think it's educational.
an intelligent puzzle.
I definitely think it's educational because of the subject matter. It's like Roman. It's using like names of like famous people. That's educational. Granted, it has nothing to do with the actual physical gameplay other than like information just being on the screen.
But I would probably consider this game, for lack of a better term, Scrabble 2.0. You basically take a bunch of letters. You have 16 letters on the board. You try to get the biggest word you can and use that to fight enemies. It's a game made by PopCap of Bejeweled fame. And honestly, I think this game is dope. I don't care if anyone says this game is not dope. This game is dope. I love this game. I don't know if you did, but I enjoyed every second I was playing it.
It was alright. It wasn't my cup of tea because it's just you're spelling like 5-letter words for 3 hours. But
you're spelling the word boated over and over again. I don't even know what boated means, but for some reason I always found the word boated.
Yeah, I would end up having like 3 A's at a time. I'm just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? The story is quite interesting. You're literally a worm, and some dude's like, hey, come look at this book. And he's like, what? Oh, your friend's in the book. You're going in there. You don't have a choice. And you're like, what? And then you're in the book.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you're part of like an ancient Greek legend, kill all these Greece-based characters, except then it puts you in Italy, and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's surprisingly violent for a kid's game. It's just like typically like this is obviously a game that would possibly be like in a school or something, or what they were going for. But typically like school-based, learning or word or whatever games don't have you physically like attacking things.
Yeah, first of all, have you noticed there's fatalities in this game?
Wait.
Did you see them?
Yeah, they have like like headstones and stuff like that, like on the ground.
No, I'm not even I'm not sure if you actually unlock this, but like there are certain situations where if a person has like 1 heart left and you pick like a 7-letter word, it'll straight up be like crushed. It'll be like it'll like do an animation where you straight up like attack them and they like die, and it's intense.
What is the age range on this game?
Yeah, I think you're thinking this is an educational game. No, this game was made by PopCap at the same time as like Bejeweled, Heavy Weapon, Chuzzle. This is like meant to be a game in that library. You don't pick this up as a game that you
something like Math Blaster or like something like that is what I like originally like theme up. But like the more you say it like that, it's like it just like the themes like you're a bookworm. It seems very kiddish, and you're like
it's nerdy, but I think this game is more like it's the Scrabble demographic. It's the crossword demographic. I
don't think they would like to play like Bookworm McGee's Adventures in like, Bookland, though. I'm just trying to see
So,
who,
to give you a little
context
context,
for this is.
To give you a little context of how I have this game, how I discovered this game, I basically, during a Steam sale, maybe like in 2012, 2011, bought every PopCap game on Steam. This came with like Bejeweled, Heavy Weapon, this game, Chuzzle, like a lot of very good games. I don't know if you know PopCap. They actually used to be probably my favorite developer of all time.
Really?
They're a really, really, really good puzzle developer. Obviously, Bejeweled is a very good game.
So when I think of Popcast, I think of like things like Zynga, with Zynga is like straight up like virus.
You mean Zumba? No, sorry.
Zynga is the company that made all those.
Oh,
you had to like download like the program, and it like infected your computer with like malware and shit.
I was thinking Zuma Deluxe, and Zuma's Revenge, which actually came with the PopCap collection. So yeah, when I think of PopCap, I think of really good puzzle games. Like honestly, like they had the classic puzzle game sort of deal. Like before mobile puzzle games kind of took off, like you had Zuma. You had Chuzzle, you had Bejeweled. Like, these are the games that people wanted to play. So I'm
trying to think of this puzzle game I used to play. Oh my god, I think it might be by the same company. It was like, colored blocks that would like fall.
Hexen?
Oh my god. No. It is like, there'd be like two, it'd be like, not like Tetris, but there'd be like 2 across, and they would like fall down, and you'd have to like make, matches with like colors, and then get like, faster and faster and faster. No, I'll find it, and we'll bring it up on the next podcast.
Okay,
because that was probably one of my favorite puzzle games of all fucking time.
All right, I wouldn't mind playing it honestly, but yeah, PopCap used to be one of my favorite puzzle developers, so I really enjoyed playing this game. The thing about this game is that it's word based, right?
Yeah.
So it totally had certain words that probably shouldn't have been in it. Like, I definitely experienced times where I'm like, oh my god, this is a little inappropriate. I got slut.
So
I got sexy.
I actually have a list. I'm actually gonna send this to you. I spelt penis. I spelt tit. I spelt vulva, and he went wow.
They go wow or like awesome depending on the length of the word. They don't actually give a shit.
I spelt this is my personal favorite, butt.
Nice.
And last but not least, I spelled sex.
Well, you're an amateur because I spelled sexy with a Y.
Whoa.
I also spelled slut, and I was ironically facing a it was like a siren, like, you know, like the
Yeah. The third level or whatever.
yeah. But
my problem with the game, there just wasn't very much varied gameplay. It was literally just spell words.
I kind of agree. I think that if they upped the difficulty and actually made their stakes, like I would use the varied gameplay mechanics it had. So it had things like different power-ups in order to beat certain bosses, or like potions and stuff you could use. I actually ended up not using any of those.
Cool concept.
Sorry, what?
No, yeah, you didn't need to. I just, like you said, I think they made it more difficult to where there was actually times where you felt like, oh crap, I might have to use this if I fucked up somewhere. That would have been a lot more fun.
Yeah, like the game was very, very easy. So like they had like potions in case you like lost your health. The way that the gameplay combat mechanics worked is basically if you hit an enemy, they would hit you back. Sometimes they could stun you, so they hit you twice. But they have a certain health bar, you have a certain health bar. If you use larger words, their health bar decreases at a larger rate. And basically, most enemies you could kill in like 3 to 4 words if you're able to decipher these 16 letters in a good way. The issue is that you get so many power-ups that like they're passive, like you don't even have to do anything. That they don't the enemies don't actually end up hurting you that much, and you end up like destroying these enemies. So
you could literally spell 3-letter words the entire time and just never die.
Yeah, it's a little sad how easy it is, but at the same time, I enjoyed the base mechanics. I thought the game had a little personality, and I was happy to play it.
Oh yeah, it was a little cute game.
I was a little upset to have to rescue Cassandra, because I don't know if you saw these cutscenes, but the girl's ugly as fuck.
I mean, everyone in that game is ugly. Literally, the art.
That worm is a sex symbol.
I mean, he looks like he's about to, like, I don't know, commit adultery or something. He looks fucking...
Did you see him when he was, like... Did he try to leave the game?
Dude, he gets so pissed. He's like, are you really gonna leave me?
He's pissed and sad. Like, you feel really, really upset. He has, like, this face on him is like, if you do this, like, I'm gonna get beat.
Maybe I wanted...
And you can't leave at that point.
The more I think about it, and you did make the point that this wasn't necessarily like a child's educational game, I guess that would make sense as to why you can spell, like, those a little bit more obscene words. I think there was just some flash game. This is just the subject matter they chose, and there wasn't necessarily any specific demographic it was aimed towards.
Yeah, I think that, like, also this game is older than you think. Like,
I imagine this game's what, 2007, 2008?
This game is 2006.
Oh wow.
Yep. So the timeline for this game is 2006, got released for Steam for 2007, and then literally disappeared off the face of the earth in like 2012. I don't know if you actually tried to get this game quote unquote legitimately, but it's extremely, extremely difficult. I have this game because I got this game in a Steam pack a while ago. I don't know if all the other PopCap games are still available. I love the PopCap games. I play Chuzzle from time to time. It's probably one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. But
okay,
Bookworm Adventures, you can't buy it from any source. It's not on Steam. It's not on any PC source.
You have to like this game, and like literally, we were both trying to find it for like an extended amount of time.
Yeah, it literally opened me up to like a Wikipedia, or not a Wikipedia, like a wiki based on like delisted games. There's a delisted games wiki, and it's like, oh my god, there's a whole world of games that you literally cannot buy.
So while we were having that conversation, I actually found that puzzle game I was talking about. It's called Super Collapse 2.
I do know Super Collapse, but I feel like I've played it before. I barely remember it.
Game slaps so hard. I feel like there are a lot of games that were just lost in time. Like some of the best puzzle games of all time from like the mid or to early 2000s that are just lost.
I wouldn't even call these good games, but I know about pretty much the entire. Remember more mobile games before people actually like had smartphones? Like there were like you would buy a game for $5.99 at the AT&T store.
Yeah.
They were terrible, but like all these games are lost to time. Like I remember buying a DDR from Konami on my like Nokia flip phone for $5.99. Unplayable, but you cannot even find that game anywhere. I've looked for a while.
There were a couple games I would play. Pre-smartphones, they started having like decent cell phones that had like I have a cell phone from 2007 or 2006 that had the entirety of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on it. Like this is something that you could download from their game market, and it's probably my favorite version of the game. It runs it fantastic. I think you're thinking like like those very first like pre-Android Windows phones. You're talking more like even before like the sidekicks and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm talking like basically every game that you buy for this is unplayable and a bad deal.
Yeah.
That sort of deal.
They were expensive as well.
So one last thing on Bookworm Adventures, just looking at the Wikipedia page, because I have it open because we mentioned when it came out. None of this lists educational game like meant for children, and like it won multiple awards for like just best puzzle game of the year, best downloadable game of the year. Like it won a lot of like it got good reviews as well.
Was this game free or did this cost money?
I think it was free. So there's actually multiple Bookworm Adventures. There's Bookworm Adventures. There's Bookworm Adventures Deluxe. There's Bookworm Adventures Deluxe 2. We actually played the middle because it went Bookworm Adventures and then Deluxe. I think Deluxe came with the other modes that I think neither of us played. In order to unlock the other modes, you had to like beat the campaign, and it's not really something you could do in 2 hours.
No.
I don't know if you did.
No, I did not.
So yeah, like I the original was definitely downloadable, and like it won multiple awards. So this was not an educational game. This was just a puzzle game. You could spell penis. That was intentional.
The guys of at a glance, like I could see like a parent being like, "Oh, this is an educational game. This is fine to you play." And lo and behold, your child is spelling slut sex.
Slut sex. One word.
Yes.
Jesus.
So yeah, that was Turtle Boy spells things extreme.com.
Want to know what's great?
What?
Not spilling shit on my setup.
What happened last week?
For those that don't know, last week was an absolute nightmare. And like not because I had to talk to Dana, like that's a given.
Yeah.
But I like spilled beer on my setup like right before we were going. Like so there's two, you've probably heard two podcasts at this point. The 7 and 7.5, the 5-minute podcast where we just felt defeated, like we're lost the entire
so depressed,
thing. And
we were like, we have to redo the entire podcast, and we're just like,
and we just gave up. We gave up after 5 literal minutes. But I found that footage anyway. Even before the first like actual iteration, 7, which came out, the 35 or whatever minute podcast, I had spilled beer on my setup, and like my computer restarted like twice, and I'm like, I was just sad. So the fact that we don't have to like worry about my computer's ending doom.
Let's actually go over what happened, like the timeline. You spilt beer all over it, and then we start recording, and then we finished, I think, and then we were like having our after chat, and then it like I just see all his lights go black. And then his frame freezes. Like, I think, like, he's gotten, like, electrocuted. Like, I am, like, freaking out. I am, like, messaging him, like, dude, are you okay? And, like, 15 minutes of, like, nothing. And then I hear, like, he's like, hold up 1 second. He comes back, and he's like, yo, my setup is fucked.
So, like, this is the most ridiculous situation, too, because I spilled, when I say setup, I spilled beer on my keyboard. My keyboard is attached by USB. I'm like, how would spilling beer on my keyboard ruin my entire setup? It's like restarting my PC multiple times. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, Jesus.
Is that keyboard
and speaking
okay?
of Jesus, the keyboard's fine, actually. I just aired it out, and now I'm using the same keyboard.
It's better than it was
It's
before.
great, considering we talked about like 3 episodes ago, like, oh, I got a new keyboard. Like, I ruin it, and then I can't use it.
Yeah.
But speaking of Jesus, so I'm the guy who edits the audio.
Yeah.
So if you hate the audio, talk to me.
I don't want to talk to you.
I said the word Jesus about 8 times a minute last podcast, and I have to say I'm intervening on myself. If you hear me say Jesus a little too much,
You just said it a third time.
I know I've said it like a 90th time, but I'm gonna swear jars. Nah,
We have a Jesus jar.
that's a Jesus jar. It's the way it works. It's really easy to say though when you're drunk as fuck, which is totally. We're going even further behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I was a little too.
I've done it too though. The problem is like you start having I feel like we have a good conversation, and then it's just like you get to that like 31st minute, and then you're just like, man, fucking rabbits eating grapes. Like
Yeah, rabbits eating grapes. Like for those who don't know, it's not just me. It's Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan does it. He has a beer in his hand, and I'm Joe Rogan. I'm better than Joe Rogan.
this is true.
I sound like a schizophrenic, like escapee. I'm Joe Rogan. No,
I'm Joe Rogan.
Anyway, we have a beer to relax, but I think I had 2 beers and both of them were high ABV last episode.
Yeah.
And it was a big oof.
That seems to be a
was a
problem
big
with
oof.
us, is we only drink like the highest ABV beers possible, because it's like
So I'll have a beer to relax. It's like 17%.
yeah, like one beer, it's like 6 shots. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
It is
okay.
fun.
But I apologize for how the last episode was literally a crime.
No, it was great.
It was good. I enjoyed it a lot, but it was also literally a crime.
So speaking of other crimes, I've been riding my bike a lot lately because it's been nice.
Is it a crime? Are you
Well,
on
no,
lockdown?
I mean, I'll get to this. Not a crime, but I do like kind of like pretend to race children. So it's like if I see like if I'm like on the bike path, because near me there's a very famous trail called Bussy Woods, which is all paved, and there's like hundreds of people on a nice day. There are like kids going so slow, and I like race past them like crazy, and I like think to myself like, yeah.
Are they on bikes or are they like terrified?
Oh, they're like
pedestrians?
on bikes, and I'm like going like
Okay.
1,000,000 miles per hour past them. I'm just like, stay in the slow lane.
Do you wear a mask while you bike?
No.
I assume not, but like I'm just wondering. I don't know how that works, honestly.
I mean, I imagine biking is probably one of the safer activities. Maybe I'll just like outrace the virus. Like if I see like a green cloud chasing me, I just like go really, really fast.
Yeah, Corona is notoriously slow. Shit can't travel more than 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
This is based off literally nothing. Do not trust me. I'm not a doctor. Like honestly, they could probably measure the speed of Corona, right? Like
I think it's just like like, not really, because Corona like itself is attached to like ways it's transmitted.
yeah, but like if you cough in a
semen.
tube and the tube's like a mile long, how fast would the Corona go to the other side of the tube, right?
As far as
Science.
the liquid would go through it, because I think it has to be attached.
Science.
It's airborne, but is it airborne only because
Science.
like your spit is airborne for a moment and then it falls, or is it like
Science.
stay in the air? Dude, this is the shit they should be teaching us.
What, like how cough into a tube?
Yeah.
I mean, I would be down. I would be like, I want to see a Netflix series on tube racing, but disease tube racing.
Disease tube. That's like
You're
fucking,
speechless.
You know, it's like Japanese bug fights, but like different.
Photo
Dangerous.
filters to make the disease show.
Like you have to stop it before it gets to the end. There's like
Yeah, there's
And
like
then
a person ready to get infected at the end. It's like, oh no.
it's like you have to go through like a Ninja Warrior course
It's like
to, like,
drama.
to get to them before they get infected by Corona.
I mean, but then you have to have the like American sitcom like backstory on the person at the other end. It's like, oh,
That shit literally makes me want to die.
yeah, pretty much. But at the same time, how are you gonna know they're gonna be a good ninja warrior if you didn't know they had a troubled life at home?
That's what I hate about American TV. A lot of the time, it's like this person has been destined to sing their entire life, but they're also missing all their arms and legs.
I shouldn't have laughed at that. You just said they're
Why are you laughing?
quadriplegic.
It's like he has had the hardest life, of any person ever. They're blind and no legs. And you're like, ha!
I mean, depends on what channel it is.
You get a
Comedy
pass.
Central tells me to laugh.
If
It's on VH1. That's another
birthday.
story. Then I'm listening. I have a candle or I have a lighter out.
You get a pass today. It's your birthday.
It's my birthday. I'm allowed to be the worst human alive. Just how it works. Speaking of worst human alive, speaking of American indulgence, let's talk about the site Cameo, which may have a little bit more of a personal touch on this episode.
Let me say what Cameo is. Basically, you can pay celebrities anywhere from $5 to $500 to say a personalized message to you.
I think it's way more than $500.
Well, yeah, you can get like the tier of celebrity. The thing that I see a lot of, it's a lot of celebrities that have fallen into complete obscurity trying to do like funny things on there. So it's like you can get, oh god, who's like super no one cares about?
Andy Milonakis. Well, no, that's not true because he's on Twitch.
He does Twitch and his content's pretty good actually.
Who's like a sketch comedy MTV star from like 2002?
Like it's like the situation on there.
Yeah, The Situation's a good example.
Yeah, like someone like that, and they'll be like, "Yo, dude, shout outs to my homies and my abs," like, and then they'll say your name.
Yeah, it's basically you get the celebrity to be the celebrity, and then they randomly just say the name of the person that they are supporting. like for example, if you had a celebrity that was like a rapper and his catchphrase was "shut the fuck up," and he would basically just say like, "Oh, shout outs to," and then like whoever paid money to shout them out, and then
in the most unenthused way possible.
Yeah, like honestly, a little bit sad, a little bit broken.
Like
he's making money, but he's not proud of it, and then
he's
say,
probably
"Shut the
making
fuck up!"
absolute fucking bank, and because he probably. Long story short, Sam bought a Cameo thing for Juicy J to shout out the podcast. It is the fucking best shit ever. And
it's the best shit ever, but at the same time, it's a little sad.
It sounds like he did like 90 of them right before that, and
it's literally 10 seconds long, and he kind of sounds sad, but it happened.
I would like to see the first one he does, like when he's like super excited, and then like we get to ours, which is like the 90th, and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up."
I used the coupon. You could tell.
How'd you get the coupon? Just like Groupon or some shit?
Email sent because of birthday.
Oh, so you've done this before, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I literally haven't. This is my first time.
So you signed up for it, and then like
I signed up for it a long time ago, but I never actually used it, and then they preyed on me because it was my birthday.
I mean, that's kind of cool, actually.
It's cool, but at the same time, like, am I part of a system now that just indulges this kind of shit?
They have your information. Juicy J has your information. What if he just shows up at your house?
What if he just steals my credit card? Are we going to dispute that charge?
That would be poggers.
It'd be poggers if Juicy J stole my identity.
Yeah. Like, he just shows up at your job. He's like, "I'm Sam."
Shut the fuck I'm Sam. Just says, "Shut the fuck up, smoke some weed." I think that's literally what he said, by the way. Maybe not in that order, but those were of the 11-second clip or whatever, that's literally, he said, "Virtual homework, shut the fuck up, smoke some weed." Those
I'm sure
three
you'll see
things.
the clip at some point during this podcast.
It was literally the first thing that played. Don't be kidding yourself.
It's going to be played at the beginning of every podcast for like.
It's going to be played every 10 seconds of every podcast, like just cutting out 50%
every
of the
10 seconds, just play that. It's like
it's there's no point to even have the
like
podcast
7
anymore.
hours.
Every week I'm just going to release the same clip, and then it's going to be 10 seconds, and we're going to be done. We've peaked straight up.
Yeah, I mean, we really can't go anywhere from here but down, so why not do what we're good at, you know?
Speaking of peak, like, Corona's done, right? They're opening shit.
Yeah, they're opening shit.
Corona it's finished. We decided
it's
as a
literally
society,
getting worse on all fronts.
we decided as a society that things are open because it's better now. And if anyone says that they're not getting better, that's straight up un-American. Fuck you.
So Wisconsin opened and like everyone got like way sicker. We're opening in Chicago, where like one of like the craziest areas of sickness. And it's only going to get worse. I am working.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask how that's going.
So I work in a mall at a game store, and it's kind of scary because for long story short, they require everyone to go to any public place. You have to have face covering, hand sanitizer, whatever. As soon as people get into anywhere public, they take off their masks.
I've actually been guilty, but not really, because I don't go inside anywhere. I take walks, and I wear a mask when I'm leaving my building, but I'll totally like pull it down because I literally.
I feel like that's fine, but because that you're like outside, but like in an enclosed area, you absolutely should. But like seriously, like people like will come in the mall and immediately take off their masks, and it's like security just walks past them. It's like I'm pretty sure this is like
they should deck them, but in a social distancing way. Like you use like a taser gun.
No, you gotta use. You ever get those plastic things that you pull back and it shoots the air, like the air guns?
We talked about air Zukas.
Yeah, air Zuka. They air Zuka you in the face for not social distancing.
Can you like put an electric charge in an air Zuka, like a taser Zuka?
You actually just put anthrax in it, and
no, I like the idea of it, just a bullet in the air Zuka.
I think that's just called a gun.
No, how about just like a salt pellet? Salt pellet, like that's a thing they shoot in riots,
just fill it
right?
with salt and just spray it with them.
But like, who's going to a mall? You're pretty
We're
like
very, very, very busy.
Really?
Because there's nothing else to do. All the like ball games are closed, movie theaters are closed, restaurants are closed. Like,
so people are going to a game store.
Well, we're in a mall, so they're like, oh well, I'm at the mall. I'll go to the game store.
So when I think of game store, I think of like people with ass crack showing playing Magic. Is that happening right now?
No, but you get the people that show up and like, I like to play Card Fight Vanguard. Have you seen the newest Card Fight Vanguard card? And I'm just like, man, I'm trying to work here. You know, it's a cool game and stuff. And they're like, okay, the Card Fight Vanguard card. Like, they just keep going, like those kind of people. But not so much.
What kind of imitation was that supposed to be?
Fucking nerdy ass motherfuckers who don't understand social cues and expect me to entertain them while I'm fucking working.
Okay, I was just making sure. Now everyone knows.
But it is very unsafe.
When are we gonna go to a restaurant? Just like feeding each other as friends do.
I would love to go to a restaurant. Like I love eating out. I genuinely love going to restaurants. Love getting good food.
It's literally the only thing I miss. Like just going to an actual restaurant. Yeah. Now, am I an idiot? Now, am I gonna go to a restaurant on the first day of opening?
Absolutely not.
And just like cough in my waiter's face? No,
dude. I just want to go to.
I'm gonna let these sheeple, these goddamn sheeple, these people just going towards the slaughterhouse. I'm going to let them march towards the slaughterhouse as they walk in line to get controlled by the man and society. Mm-hmm. Their lies are causing the sheeple to drop like flies and get conveyor belt slaughtered into the cow. Sheeple.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna probably wait like 3 or 4 weeks, see how the numbers go, and if they're good, I might go to a restaurant, but probably not. I'm probably gonna stick with takeout for like the rest of 2020, and it really sucks because I live in DC, which is probably one of the best food cities in America.
Really?
Which, if you don't realize why, think about it for a second.
Well, you have like DC, barbecue, you have seafood, like, right?
I mean, sure, but so does Chicago. The thing, like every major city is barbecue and seafood. That's not a question.
What the fuck is
the thing
DC
about DC
known for?
specifically is that DC, what is it? What is DC? Why is it special than every other city? Quiz question.
Politics.
Yeah, nation's capital. So who goes to the nation's capital? Like all the fucking countries, right?
Yeah. Oh, so it's like everything.
So like all like it's like I'm from the Gambia, but
do you like Indian food?
Yeah,
I fucking love Indian food.
But what about the Gambia?
The fuck's the Gambia?
The Gambia is a country, and it has the in the name. So don't go the Gambia like it's some sort of big deal. It's just the name of the country.
What's the Gambian food? That sounds so weird. Like you're like, oh, what's Ethiopian food? Like what's the Gambian food like?
Have you had Ethiopian food?
No,
It's delicious.
It's really good.
But the sad thing about Ethiopian food is it's probably not going to really be popular after this, because I don't know if you know about Ethiopian, but Ethiopian is a hand-eaten food. So you basically have a plate made of injera, which is a sponge bread, and you usually you use your hand to pick out it, and you scoop it up. Use the injera bread to scoop it up, and it's a very hand-based food. So the fact that multiple people share a plate and it's hand-based, I could see it not really doing well in a post-corona economy, even though it's one of the most delicious foods in existence.
Not my cup of tea. But at the same time, it's we eat cheeseburgers or chicken fingers, and that's held by our fingers.
It sounds like it's not your cup of tea, but it's probably I seriously think you'd like it. Honestly, I would consider you probably willing to try new things more than most people. You're an exploratory person. So I think that if there was literally any other context besides corona, death, apocalypse, you'd be excited.
I'm so hungry, but I'm on intermediate fasting, so I can't.
Intermittent?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's I had so much food today, though. So
what is it, 10 to 6?
Noon to 8.
Noon to 8. Damn.
And then I can't have anything else.
What about liquid?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, you can fucking drink water till you piss your pants, but...
What about shakes?
No. It's... you can have coffee, because it's if it's under 50 calories, I think you're fine. But you can't have something that's under 50 calories.
So you can't just have a loophole?
You can't just have something under 50 calories 30 times.
What about just enemas, but with food? Just shoving ground kale up your asshole.
You ever see that video of the woman that's I am addicted to coffee enemas?
It's one of the best videos on the internet. And she gets her boyfriend or husband addicted to coffee enemas too. It's I tried a coffee enema. I'm now addicted to coffee enemas.
Just the ways that they explain it. He was at first I was completely disgusted. It was a real deal breaker. I thought I was gonna leave her over it. But then I tried it, and now I'm addicted to coffee enemas.
Yeah, it's but then I tried it. I'm Jane, and I'm addicted to coffee enemas. And then it's a whole story, and then it's I was disgusted. But I'm Mike, and I'm addicted to coffee enemas. It's they use the exact same intro, too. It's oh my god. This is a problem sweeping America.
They always make them look normal as fuck. They're just I love my family. I like to exercise, go to the movies. And I'm addicted to coffee enemas. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm addicted to coffee enemas. It's normal.
Do you think it's
right before this? I was.
Do you think it's
2 cups of coffee enema in my butt.
Do you think it's good?
What do you mean? Think I'm addicted straight up.
So is that why I was late because you were doing that?
Yeah, 2 ounces of coffee up my asshole. I puked it out. It went up. So how normally you eat food and it comes out the other end?
No. Wasn't that a South Park episode where they just stuck all their food up their ass and they shit out their mouth?
Yeah, it's opposite day, bitch.
Can we talk about something real quick?
Sure. But we actually probably should wrap this up. So this better be a good topic.
No, you don't get to hear it. Next time.